I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends of Gameology, hosted by friends at Gameology.com.
News for science.
In some nebulous amount of time. Or less.
I was going to say reviews 2 or 3 times before I realized we were doing the news.
Are we off kilter, Internet? Can you see that I scooted over a little bit? We're trying to decide where the center is. With the change of the shelves, this is hard to determine. So I think I'm looking at me on the screen, and I feel like there's not as much room as there is over there. I don't know. We're trying something new today. We have 2 dogs. I will affectionately refer to one as the bad dog. You know which one that is?
Yes.
Which one?
Thor.
Okay. And I will affectionately refer to the other one as the worst dog.
No.
I was always going to say bad and worse, and you just picked wrong.
Bear is a great dog.
They're both terrible, but they're both out. Usually we have Thor in her kennel when we film these things. We've got lights. I mean, to light us, you can't see them, but there's lights there. They're there, up there. We have a microphone. We have this tripod thing, chairs with the lights, the whole deal. And I'm just, we have like the mixer and the receiver thing, and I'm just a little afraid Thor is going to just ruin everything. But our girls and the dogs now share a room, and the girls are asleep, so I'm trying to keep the dogs from going in and out too much. And so we're trying something new. If suddenly the camera just starts shaking and like lights just start flickering, that's happened before. Remember when like Bear knocks something over and suddenly you see on the screen it just gets super dim?
Yes. And the camera goes for a little bit.
Every now and then you'll see the little shake, and a couple of our videos you'll see that where his tail is just hitting the camera or something.
Yeah, it's our dog.
So you think Bear is the better dog?
It's fact.
It's fact?
Yes. Bear is a therapy dog.
That is true. He is the therapy dog, otherwise known as a Bearapy dog. Thor, on the other hand,
is poorly trained by us.
That is also true. Thor is a girl. When you hear Thor, you probably think of a guy's name, but we named her Thor because Thor's a girl now, like in the comics. And I have to wonder if they're going to make that happen in the cinematic universe. They've got something good going with Chris. Right. Is it Chris Hemsworth? They've got something good going with him. So, I mean, but maybe he's only contracted for so many movies. And then, I don't know. This is news, so we're giving you the news.
That we don't know.
Yeah, that's true. All right. In other news, both of us got new jobs.
Oh,
Last month.
Yeah.
I will be in a couple of days making my 1-month mark at my job, and you've got a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah, so both of us work from home now, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trepidation in my heart about working from home. I'm the extrovert, man.
Yeah, you need people.
I need people. And so to not have an office setting with people around and whatnot kind of gave me some pause about working from home, but I also really like not commuting. So
yeah, and
hours back. You get hours back in the day.
We live in Austin, Texas, and I don't know if those of you who aren't from here might not realize how bad traffic is. I know people say other cities have worse traffic. Houston, I mean... LA.
It's no LA, but...
Or New York or anything like that, but it wasn't... We just keep growing. So it's just gonna get worse, and the roads are not ready for that.
That is true.
They should have been built 20 years ago to be ready for it, but we were like, Austin's not gonna be big, because I'm from Austin. Not that I made the choice 20 years ago. I wasn't voting.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
How careless of you.
Either way, we should have done it then when there were fewer people, and now that there are so many people, and they keep on moving in, it is just bad. So anyways, we didn't live very far from his job, but yet we were still in traffic.
But now we both work from home, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
At least that part of it's awesome. Alrighty, we've got a smattering of games to talk about. I've talked about some things. Why don't you talk about some things?
I want to talk about our board game convention.
Go on.
We just finished Game for the Cause. It was October 19th and 20th, or 20th and 21st. 20th and 21st. Yeah, I forget.
It was Friday and Saturday.
It was a Friday and Saturday, the third weekend in October, and it was insane. And
boy.
It was at a new location this year that is at a local hotel, and it was amazing. Our silent auction didn't fit where we thought it was going to fit. We kept on having to add more tables, and we did, and it was massive. We had 140 bundles, majority of those having more than one game in them, and man, Everyone had a great time. Lots of play-to-win games. We had a trivia, 90s trivia. Everyone had a blast. And Tom and I left exhausted. As we do every year. But
less exhausted this year.
Less exhausted this year. We had less setup because of the location.
That's right. So we've been talking about moving. And that would probably be out of Austin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we would host Game for the Cause anymore. And partly, I would want to. It's for the benefit of Safe Place. It's the domestic abuse shelter here in Austin. And there are other domestic abuse shelters in other cities. So we could, just change the location and start anew. But I wonder if part of our success is Austin, Texas. It's a capital, the big state. We have
quite a few game stores.
Yeah, at any given time, 8 to 10 game stores and 2 game cafes right now.
Yeah, they closed down.
They do close down.
We have at least 5 or 6 that have stayed for a long time.
Right, like Dragon's Lair, Tribe, Wonko's,
Mothership.
Major Sanctum now is
and
getting their feet.
And then also the other cafe, Emerald
Tavern, and Austin Books and Comics has.
So that's 7 right there, and there are more.
And there are more. It's like Rogues Gallery went down. Whose Turn Is It went down. Vigilante looks like it's about to go down.
Yeah, I don't know.
But still, for them to keep coming, and there's some churn, there's some turnover. But I wonder if people just think, like, if we moved to a rural area, and like maybe a smaller state, I wonder if publishers, when we contact them, would think like, oh, they probably don't have that much reach. We probably won't get that many people looking at our games, and it may not be worth sending, even though it's a good cause and whatnot. I don't know. But it is outstanding, the support we get. You would not believe it. We write to publishers, and we just have a list of thousands of publishers. Essentially what I do is I go on BoardGameGeek.com, and I look up, usually like halfway through the year, so I don't get the last half of the year, which is really an oversight, and I should probably keep doing it.
But sometimes they put up their games, so you're talking about new games put up that year. Sometimes they put up their game that's going to come out later. So
right, but what about the people who put up their game that's going to come out in the next year or something? My point being, people add games to the database every day. Because a new Kickstarter's coming out, they're planning a new release, and they want to get, some places to put videos and hype and whatnot. So publishers, Kickstarters, whatever, they put out stuff on Board Game Geek every single day, new stuff. And so you can go on there and sort by new companies or new games, and then open those and find all the companies, and then I just compare it to our spreadsheet and see if we already have that company on there. And it's a lot of work, and it takes just hours and hours, days and days and days. And then we got to go and email them all. So we actually had a helper this time around, 2 helpers. We had Natalie and Joy. They both helped out. And so they did a lot of emails with us, and like found craft companies and whatnot.
Oh, Natalie went above and beyond.
She went through a bunch of Etsy listings and found like Boba Fett earrings, Game of Thrones t-shirts,
bunch of cool prints, art prints.
dragon, like 3D dragon artwork. It was out of control, and so people just sent all this stuff. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's just incredible. It's incredible. If I had, like 5 years ago when we first started this, if I'd been like, oh yeah, like we'll just reach out to a bunch of publishers. Like when we first started this, we used to only talk to people in Austin, essentially. Like we emailed a lot of people outside of Austin that were like big names, like Rio Grande, just because like, oh, they're big. Like we looked at our shelves, like who do we know? But I mean, with Kickstarter these days, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of publishers out there, and a lot of them are trying to get out of obscurity. Their game was only funded by 100 people. They went for a low fund, they had 100 people. They still want to sell through, or they want to get like more audience for a new game or whatever. And so people will send stuff. And this is where I don't know if you've seen this online, but I'll see online where people like on Reddit will ask, what can I do to get my after school program funded with games? What can I do to get my charity, some games for my library, for my charity, whatever. And they say something like, I contacted a couple publishers and I didn't get very far. I don't know what to do. And that's where I'm just like, what are you talking about? A couple publishers? We email over 2,000 publishers every time. And we got about 100 publishers.
A little bit over, maybe 120.
It was 120? Mm-hmm. So what's
5%.
Is that 5%? 5% conversion?
Wait, that could be fewer than less than 5%.
That's definitely less. Hold on. 2,100.
Yeah, how many 100s fit in? How many 100s fit in 2,000?
I don't know.
20.
All right, so 5%. Totally did that math in my head. You see that, guys? So you're the math teacher here.
I'm not. That is not me.
You're the teacher here.
I'm the teacher, and I did get it correct. You're welcome.
Point being, we'll need you in the comments to correct Molly's math, and 5% rate of asking publishers for games is not, I guess, what you'd think of as really successful. But just knowing that if you contract 2,000 of them, having a gigantic silent auction, the gigantic play-to-win section, I'm talking like Molly said earlier, didn't fit in the room.
Yeah.
And then we had like these play-to-wins, just, what do we have, over 100 play-to-wins?
150.
150. That's incredible.
So, our convention is definitely the Kickstarter play-to-win convention.
No. It's not just Kickstarters.
It's definitely not just Kickstarters.
We get a whole bunch of entrenched publishers.
There's a lot of them. I would say about 50 at least are Kickstarters that you might never have heard of.
Yes.
We do have tons. Like Spirit Island was a play-to-win this year. Gloomhaven was a play-to-win this year. Someone
went to the convention, played Gloomhaven, and won it for free. Isn't that incredible? So it's Isaac Childress, right?
Yeah.
From Cephalofair. He sent us 2 copies. That's incredible.
Thank you.
That's incredible.
That was a big attraction for a lot of people.
Right? And so, but it's not just those big games. Like, we got Blade and Brush again. I love that game. Check out our review on that game. It is in my top 3 games of all time. It's so incredible. Actually, no. It's in my top 3 games that we own. Yeah. I need to rerun my of all time list. Mm-hmm. And we haven't, published that or anything. We just keep it for on records because we know what we need to get rid of. Like, we gave a ton of games to the Dutch auction at the convention because,
what are we doing with them? We're not playing them.
It's too much. We got to get rid of them. And so I've only done recently my top games that I own. And of what I own, Blade and Brush is in the top 3. Sandy Ichi came in. That's in my top 20-ish, I know. It might be top 15. I love that game.
It's good.
And that's a game that you may have never heard of.
Right?
And these people will send. And so what I'm trying to get across is whenever I see these people on Reddit say, I contacted a couple publishers, contacted 20 publishers, I'm like, well, of course you didn't get anything. If you hit up, say, Steve Jackson Games here in Austin, that's money. They gave us a ton of games. That first year.
First year they gave us a lot.
That was practically all of our
we just a Munchkin with everything.
Well, because it was a Munchkin of each different theme. So Fireside gives us the what's that, Bloodsuckers?
Yeah,
and then we had Fury of Dracula.
Yeah.
And so then we stick with that, Munchkin Bites.
Yeah.
Then we had The Walking Dead and Dead Panic from Fireside, and we stick Munchkin Zombies with that one. Then you go down to the superhero bundle has Sentinels and DC.
Super Munchkin.
Stick Super Munchkin with it. And so that, it padded things out.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do it if they're local or whatnot. My point being, you got to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
If you want this to work for your after school program, for your church group, for whatever it is that you're on, I see this all the time on Reddit. I need for this charity auction, or we're trying to get people together for disabled veterans or something. And I'm contact everyone. Just contacting the top 50 people on Board Game Geek is not enough.
Well, and just imagine how many of them are contacted. Yeah. Imagine how often Rio Grande is contacted. And so these big companies are not the ones we get games from most often. Some of them have donated.
Rio Grande's donated. AEG has donated. Steve Jackson has donated. Fantasy Flight hasn't donated.
Fantasy
Flight next year. I know this. I know you're donating.
Yeah,
Days of Wonder.
I have a bad feeling in my heart. So I'm going to go to BGG-Con, which is next week. And every time I see a publisher that didn't donate that I know I wrote to, I think, oh, you. But it's not the people that work there. It's decision, and maybe they thought it was spam. I don't know, because I don't have a personal connection with some of them. Stronghold, they donate.
Stronghold always donates.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should even be saying this, because then the ones we don't say are going to be why didn't you mention me? I donated 5 years in a row. But
maybe we'll cut it out.
No, we're fine. My point being is that we get a lot of people that donate a ton. You just have to ask everyone. Yeah. Just everyone. And we get a lot of overseas donations, too. Anyway, so that's my point. We had a really successful convention. We raised $11,000.
Yep.
Which is the most we've ever raised. We've never beat 10 grand until this year. This was my goal, beat 10 grand. We beat it. Now, the trick is we still owe the hotel. Now, we're in some post-convention negotiations for fees. So, we're either going to donate to Safe Place $7,000 or $8,000, depending on how that works out with the hotel. But regardless, incredible year.
We're super excited. And everyone left super happy. And so that, to me, because we raised money, plenty of money, or the same as we've done in years past, with a new location that we had to pay for, I mean, smashing success.
Yep. Boy, do you have any more? You know what? We've talked about this before. I think we need to do a series about how to run a convention. I don't know if it would be popular, because I don't know that there's anyone, just tell me in the comments, please, would you consider running a board game convention?
But our convention is so different than other people's conventions.
That's true.
So we don't know how to answer questions like sponsors. We don't have sponsors.
What are you talking about?
We don't have
vendors.
Vendors.
We have sponsors.
We have tons of sponsors. Look at our sponsors page. It's huge. But our vendors, we don't have vendors because, which most conventions do, right? Which makes sense. We try to donate. We donate everything to the charity, and so if vendors came and sold games, it would lower the cost of the games in the silent auction that goes to charity, and the money they get doesn't go to charity, it goes to them. So we haven't done vendors. That's a big part of conventions.
True, but the convention we run has some value for somebody. Yeah. We copied and pasted someone else's convention.
Yeah.
Dan Manfredini ran Give the Game for years. We went to his convention. We were like, this is amazing. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I just run this for the Bastrop Emergency Food Pantry. And he's just a guy who made a convention. Him and his wife got together and made a convention. They got a bunch of people to go. They filled up a church, filled up another church when they had to move the next year. And they just gave money and food to the Emergency Food Pantry. And then we were like, we could do this too. In fact, the reason our convention is every October was because his was every April. And we didn't want to compete with his audience. So we just said, well, let's go as far away as we can, either direction, in 6 months. We're in October now. He since stopped running his convention, so we may consider moving our date sometime.
That would be tough, but yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Because if we move it anywhere close to where ours is, we hit other big conventions. Ours is already next to butting up against Essen, sometimes same time. But
Essen, and then the next month is Board Game Geek Con, and 2 months prior is Board Game Bash here in Austin, which is like way bigger than ours.
Board Game Bash, well then the same month is Gen Con. There's a lot of big things that...
So we're thinking maybe we move it to April, take Dan's old spot, and then...
Yeah.
But we'd have to skip a year in between.
Which is tough, because then you lose people.
Yeah. It's a thing. But anyway, I could talk, like, we've talked for, 10 minutes about this.
Maybe
I could
longer.
talk for hours about this convention, because I love it. You know, sometimes in the middle of the convention, we'll just be like Mr. and Mrs. Complainy Pants the whole time. We'll just be like, oh, it's so difficult. We're so under the gun. We have all this stuff. We have to put up more blogs. I got to write more people. But you know what? As much as I'm a Complainy Pants, I love it. I love it so much. It is a blast. For one, we teach the play to win games. And we actually enlisted some high schoolers. This is totally nuts. One of the guys that goes to our church works at a school, and he's like, can I help you with anything? And we're like, well, yeah, we need people to teach games. And he's like, well, my students, it's like a charter school or something. I didn't have this when I was a kid, but they have to do 100 service hours over their 4-year high school curriculum to graduate. And so we said, well, if they come and teach at our convention, I'll sign off their paper that's ours. So the week prior, like the weekend before, they came for 4 hours and learned a bunch of games. Like we sat them down between two cities. Here's how to play. Play a game. Do it again. Can you teach me? Have you teach me? Go teach people there. Then they come to the convention. We had 4 of the high schoolers come to the convention. 2 of them stayed overnight. Like they got a ton of hours
something like that.
Towards their, like if they did that for 3 years, they'd be cake. It'd be done. Hopefully we'll be able to throw this for that many. It really, if we move, they're going to be like, oh man. Because that's, I would have had to like go outside and like pick up trash or like go to a retired
well, you get like an hour
or
or two here and there. To get such a big chunk, I think, is the big. And you're inside, sitting down, teaching games.
It's
which is super useful, right?
But it was so useful.
The people would come in and we say, hey, there's these people ready to teach you a game. Because our convention is new gamer friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, old gamer or gamer friendly too. We have tons of gamers games and people bring their own. And
people bring their own and just they didn't even look at our library.
We have a lot of people that are new to game conventions and don't know how to find people to sit with and all these things. And so we always like to have people that can teach. And this year it was just so great to say, hey, these guys can teach you a game right now.
The reason I brought them up was because we, especially in the past, often teach the play to win games. So we play them first. A lot of our reviews come from play to win games that we need to know how to play to teach people. And it's just another bonus. Like, it's so good running this convention. I really enjoy it. If you ever hear us doing our Complainy Pants routine, just reach through the internet and just smack. Because it's so good. It's just, like I say, I'm shocked. Even now, after 5 years, I'm shocked at how much, not only do people from the game community, like the board game publishers and the Kickstarters and then like these people with crafts on Etsy, how much they give, but then the people that come there, out of control. People walked in with bags and were like, here, can I donate these games? We're like, sure, stick them in the silent auction. Someone comes with a box. Can I put these games over here? Sure, put them in the Dutch auction. Is that your phone?
I have no idea what that is.
No, I'm keeping it in. Point being, oftentimes people will write a check and we'll be like, oh, your game only costs like $40 and you wrote it for $50. They're like, yeah, it's charity. And that happens a lot. Like,
or they give it's $30 and they give us $2.20 and they say keep it.
Yeah, and so that just adds up. Everyone it's such a great event. It's such a great event. And every year, I'm excited. Every year. Just all year long, I'm already excited for next year.
Yeah, it's a good kind of stress. It's very stressful, but it's a good kind of stress. And even when I'm there and we're setting up and, like, time crunched, it's great. Because we generally have people that have... We do not throw it by ourselves. Tom and I do a lot of the background work by ourselves. Natalie has joined in, and Natalie does a lot of the background work too. Yep. And Joy helped out.
But Natalie joined the team. She's on the staff.
Yeah, she's on the staff.
It's just weird to say because we don't get paid.
Yeah. But the day of, we have quite a few people that come and help, and I delegate, and I'm like, I can't think about this. You worry about this, but it's a fun thing to do because I know people are going to come, they're going to have a good time, and then we're going to be able to donate money to Safe Place. And that's why they come, because they know that too. They know, hey, I can pay this money to play games that I could just play at my house, but I'm playing with a lot of people, and there are options to buy other games at a mid-discount, but I'm also donating to Safe Place. And so it's a really great, awesome thing that I am super happy we started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seriously, I can keep going. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make that series about how to run a convention, mostly because I'll just talk your head off. I don't know, like, will it only ever get 5 views? Maybe. Worth it, though. Worth it.
Worth it. Hashtag worth it. Oh,
well, I feel like this was your topic. You were the one that said, I want to talk about the convention. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I talked for most of it.
Yeah, probably.
So why don't you...
We picked up Kodama at the convention. So we can't win any play-to-wins or any contests. In the past, we've had contests. We can't win any of those.
Yeah, we can't win raffles. We don't even enter. If we play a play-to-win, we don't get the ticket.
Oh, no. But we can buy games from our convention. Yeah. And that's what happened. We bought one that had like 2 or 3 games that we really wanted because they all happened to theme the same. It was pretty convenient. But they were all themed. One of them was Kodama. And I really like it. We played it a couple times since. And it's just a fun game. And I like the strategy that it has. You can't have someone run away with just one branch because they mitigate that. I just like when people think about things like that to make you have a different strategy, to make you build it out in a certain way. So there's not just one win-away strategy. If that's a word. There's not one way to win every single time. Like a broken strategy, an overpowered strategy. Kind of like Dominion to me, where if you go big money, you're going to do really well the majority of the time. You might not win, but you're going to do... So I think there's very few that can break that. Oh, the Dominion? Yeah. No. The Dominion trick is big money is the basis against which your deck must compete. So if someone has big money, you have to do better than that. Yeah, like big money is if you just bought silvers until you could buy golds, and then you just bought golds until you could buy provinces, then you get, like, I don't know, I can't remember the points. Let's just say it's like 30 points. You get 30 points after, say, 17 turns or something. That's not true, but just off the top of my head. So you have to say, in 17 turns, what can I do differently to get, like, by just adding, say, a smithy or something else to get 31 points. And so, so no, big money is not a dominant strategy if someone has looked at the cards. Right, and knows how to build them together. So I guess that's a bit, in this one, there's not even a big money strategy, I think. So, there's a lot of also luck that's involved as well. But it's a pretty game. You have a big, nice tree at the end of it. We are improvising with a game we did not prepare to talk about. That's true. Well, it's because of Kodama. I just want to bring up art. I am surprised at how much art matters to me. Like, if you had asked me just, I don't know, 10 years ago, I'd be like, no, I don't care. The visual presentation is not that big of a deal to me. But I have changed. And I dig art in it. And, like, for instance, I don't want to hurt feelings because I don't know who watches this, but I've played 2 games recently where they are almost the same game, and one is more cartoony. I'm not even editing that out. I think it's my computer saying it's dying. Turn your computer down, man. I don't know how to do that. My computer's not all volumed up. We'll get another ding. So, the other of the games is more cartoony, and I like it. I like it more. That is why. If it can get cartoony like this, like, I know a lot of people, this kind of art turns them off, or like, say, anime style. I've never even really watched anime,
But like when I see the art, I'm like, man, it's so evocative. It's so cool. And that's why I brought out Shinobi Wataah. I can usually tell when a game is by Yellow or E-Yellow. I don't really know how to say. I say Yellow. I can tell when a game's by them by the art on the cover, and I typically dig it, even if I don't like the game. Like we saw
art is great.
A pirate game that somebody donated by Yellow.
Sea of Clouds
or something, and then like this guy,
you can tell,
King of Tokyo. That Mask game.
Just really well produced.
But you know what? A lot of people would look at this and be like, that's not for me.
Well, so some people that like games that look boring. Like, I know a guy who loves war games, and
if he sees a plain white box, he's like, I gotta get it.
Well, so at our convention, we had quite a few war bundles, and I was like, oh, this... So one guy, I said, oh yeah, this other guy that he knows, they play war games together, this other guy got a bunch of bundles, and he goes, oh, were they all boring looking? From a guy who really likes war games. So, like, it's because they know that they like a particular style.
But you know what? Sometimes people wouldn't say it's boring. Like, they would look at, say, the front of Power Grid or Puerto Rico or something, and they'd be like, yeah, it's just a really cool, evocative style, like I'm saying about these. For me, it's obviously subjective. It's like, what you like, which no, I love this kind of art. I love it. I love this kind of art. When I see Kodama, I'm going to play that game. Yeah. Like, there are some games I'm going to pass over, because I'm like, nothing draws me to open the box. Like, I just don't even care. I don't want to open the box. Whereas, like, for instance, No Thanks. I play No Thanks on the strength of how much people love it. And now I do too. But I never would have opened this box if I hadn't heard so many good things about it. I'd have been like, so it's a bunch of numbered cards? Yeah. Boo, boring, no. But turns out it's an amazing game, and there's so many games that I can afford to just go for the ones with art that I like. Man, I dig this stuff. I dig Kodama art a lot. Go on.
I'm done talking about Kodama. I talk about something else, so it's up to you.
Well, I mean, because speaking of, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love the cartooniness of this art. I love it. This stuff speaks to me. I don't know why. Because, I mean...
The artist inside of you?
The artist... The artist that is me. It's not just inside of me. It is, I am an artist.
Tom is an artist. I am a scientist.
You're a scientist. That's fact. That's just a fact.
Fact.
So anyhow, I love it. I see like the big eyes and the, I don't even know how to classify this art.
We went to the Exploratorium in San Francisco.
That's true.
And that's, yep, it's true. It's fact.
I'm just confirming what you said.
They had one of the exhibits there. It's like a children's museum, but for all ages. You can experiment with lots of things. One of the things there was a machine that said to make things cute, like it made things cute and told you how to make things cute. And you took a hammer and then you slid the scale all the way over, and by the end, it was this really cute small hammer.
As it gets smaller and plumper.
Yeah, that's what it is. And so that's what you reminded me of when I like big eyes. And I think that was one of the things. That's one of the things that I know cartoon characters do is they make the eyes big to make it more attractive. And so that reminded me of that. So yeah, cutesy. Yeah,
it was the thing like with the hammer, it stayed the same size and you could like make it plumper, and then it would stay the same width and you could get a little smaller. Yeah, and as you did, you're like, that's a cute hammer.
Yeah, you were like, oh, that is a cute little hammer.
Like versus like a real life sheep. Like if you're looking at a lamb, you're like,
oh, you're not.
But then when you look at a cartoon stylized version with like bigger eyes and like fluff, you're like, oh, that's like a cute lamb. So this art speaks to me. So it's just. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come out with, probably not a series, just like a video of what I like, and maybe one for each of us, like you do one for you and I do one for me, so people can know where we're coming from. Because the other day, Molly said, in our last news with Mark, I think, she asked me what kind of games I like, and I said, I don't know, like what kind of games do I like? I guess I like all types of games. Cop-out answer. And then I was like, I like light games, which is true. I'm a light gamer, light Ameritrash, light Euro. I typically go for the stuff with fewer rules, maybe a deep strategy, fewer rule set. But one of the things that I found that I really like are team games. I love team games. I love them.
There's so much pressure.
But the reason I like them, I think, is because I don't really go for co-ops that much. I enjoy playing co-ops. I like playing Pandemic with you. I enjoy it. But like, I would just almost never choose to play one. There's some exceptions. I love Sentinels and Multiverse. But for the most part, I don't choose to play a co-op. But I like that cooperative nature in the team game, with the competitive nature that I'm still trying to beat someone that isn't this AI. I'm not trying to beat like the game's machinations. I'm trying to beat you. But I've got a partner. We're working together, and I don't want to let that person down. I love that. It's so cool. And so I think what we're going to probably do, at least for me, and I hope you want to do one too, is talk about where we're coming from. Like when I say that I like a game, like Santorini, this is a 2-player game they kind of made a variant for 3 and 4. And I read a lot of stuff on Reddit how people say, like, when they're recommending the game, only play it with 2. It's not good for 3 or 4 players. It's just a variant. I love that stuff. Star Wars Risk, it's a 2-player game. They have a 4-player variant. I almost prefer the 4-player variant. Same here. I love the team aspect. I love it. And so even if it's a tacked-on variant, just to say that it's not just a 2-player game, but it goes to 4, which is, like, weird marketing, I dig it. And so you'll know where I'm coming from when I talk about this stuff, is to say I like light games. I like
Is this your video?
Games. No, I'm gonna get there, man. I'm gonna get there. Why don't you tell whatever you were gonna say?
I didn't. I was gonna talk about this game. I can't reach it.
Which one, Race?
Yeah. So, viewers, if you haven't seen me in person, I am, spoiler alert, 4'11". So I'm quite small. So I can't reach certain things. And so, like, the kitchen is the worst room in the house because I can barely reach the first shelf, and there are 2 on top of that.
So the funny thing about you being short is that I've seen a lot of, like, for instance, like me, I'm taller than my mom, right? Like, that's not a big deal. That happens. Sometimes the child grows taller than the parent, and I assume that's going to happen to you with Argos. Maybe it happened to me. I don't know. But the weird part is that they're, like, our oldest girl is only 2. She's almost 3, and she's almost taller than you. Like, that's the funny part. Is like it's not just like when it happens when they're like 16 or 17 and they can, like, you know, weird teenager gloat about it. But like she's like a toddler and she's almost your entire size.
So it's possible that when she's 10 or 11 she will be taller than me. But it's funny.
It is funny.
Okay, Race for the Galaxy is one of my favorite games. I'm gonna say top 5, top 10.
It's definitely top 10 for me.
Right? It's definitely top 10. I want to say top 5. Yeah,
I'll look.
I'm pretty sure it was like number 8 or something for you.
It was number 7.
So, amazing game. I don't pull it out very often to teach people because it is so intense to play your first few times because there's so many symbols and there's so much going on. You can't win. There's so much relying on other people to do the right thing that when you've played before, you think they'll do the right thing. And new players inevitably do. And they always do the right thing, and so you can always capitalize on it. And so I've never seen a new player win this game. Unless we were all new, like way back in the beginning when we first started. But I've never seen a new player win. If you have, feel free to share in the comments. But this is a game that you have to be okay losing the first 5 to 10 times you play. Because you will get how to play after like 3 or 4. And then it'll take even longer to get a strategy down of relying on other people to do the right thing so you can play this thing to benefit you both times, right? Or to take the gamble and whatnot. So I love Race for the Galaxy. We played it the other night. I taught it. It was rough, but it was good because they were really good sports. They're like, yeah, we're just going to play this thing. Did they win? No. Top two scores?
We tied 34 points, and then she had 2 cards in her hand and only had 1, so she won the tiebreaker. This is number 8 on my games we own currently.
So I was right.
You were super right. For the first time in your life, as usual.
That's rude.
Well, were you going to say something else?
That time.
I was going to say, yeah, we're looking at the clock. We're coming up on 34 minutes right now. Subtract a little for editing out some stuff. But the point being, by the time I've said all that, it's going to, all of what we subtracted just happened in this.
Oh yeah, we definitely speak a lot. Talk a lot, speak a lot.
It's all the same. The thing is that before, the iPad would turn off at the 15-minute mark.
I changed it.
You changed that.
Yeah.
It's so much worse this way.
Because we know?
Because we know. We've never gone for like 34 minutes.
We've never done that.
And so I think we'd kind of start being like, ooh, we need to wrap this up. This time I was just like brazenly looking at I was like, we're still going. We're still going. But hey.
If you're still here, thank you.
The camera, I don't think it shook at all this whole time. The mics are good. The lights are good, I think.
Thor moved in the middle of it.
Oh, did she? Where is she?
She's underneath the table. She moved right by the mic, or right by the camera.
Scary.
I watched her. I was like, if you saw me looking down, I was like, that's what I was looking at. As a dog walking this way, I was like, ooh. BGG-Con next week. I'll be there. And if you will too, come say hi.
That's right. Go say hi to Molly for BGG-Con. It'll be the best. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.